Hey, what's up? It's DJ Troy here, looking to do something a little bit new. Trying to get some horror stories in here, some short stories that I drummed up, and seeing if you guys will like this new style of narration. Once again, it's DJ Troy 23. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Doing some creepy stories here. Got a couple of different ones to go through, and I hope you enjoy. Our first story: speed dating. The soft glow of the restaurant's candles flickered, casting dancing shadows across the intimate table. Across from me sat Emily, a woman whose beauty was as enchanting as it was unsettling. We had met through an online dating app, exchanging messages that were equal parts intriguing and enigmatic. Our first date was cloaked in an air of anticipation, a mingling of curiosity and excitement. Emily's smile was as dazzling as the gleaming cutlery laid out before us, and her eyes held a mysterious depth that drew me in. Conversation flowed with an ease I hadn't expected, and soon I found myself sharing stories and secrets, as if the barrier between strangers had dissolved. As the evening wore on, Emily revealed an affinity for the macabre. Her tales of visiting historical crime scenes and her knowledge of notorious serial killers were chilling, yet captivating. There was an allure in her fascination, a hint of darkness that beckoned to the hidden side of me, a side that's always been drawn to the unknown. Our laughter echoed through the dimly lit restaurant, mingling with the soft notes of a piano playing in the background. With each passing moment, I found myself becoming more entranced in Emily's presence, the boundaries of reality and fascination blurring together. As dessert arrived, Emily leaned in closer, her voice a low murmur that sent a shiver down my spine. You know, secrets are like knives, cutting through the fabric of normalcy. I chuckled nervously, the double entendre not lost on me. I suppose we all have our secrets. She fixed her gaze on me, her eyes holding an intensity that made me feel as though she could peer into my very soul. And what's yours, I wonder? I paused, suddenly feeling exposed under her scrutiny. I guess there are things I don't talk about as much. Her lips curled into a knowing smile, and for a moment, I felt as though I were unraveling before her. Don't worry, I won't pry. Some secrets are best kept. As the night drew to a close, Emily suggested we take a stroll through a nearby park. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the path before us. The air was heavy with the scent of earth and anticipation, and I couldn't help but feel a mixture of exhilaration and unease. Our footsteps echoed in the quiet night, and Emily's voice was a whisper against the silence. You know, it's fascinating how life can change in an instant. One moment, someone is here, and the next, they're gone. I glanced at her, struck by the gravity of her words. Yeah, it's something we often take for granted. She sighed, her gaze distant. But death has its own beauty, its own rhythm, the way it releases the soul from its earthly constraints. My heart raced, the weight of her words settling over me like a shroud. It was as if I'd stepped into a dream, a twisted and surreal reality where darkness and desire intertwined. As we reached a secluded spot, Emily turned to face me, her expression enigmatic. You know, I could show you something truly extraordinary, something that defies the mundane boundaries of existence. My pulse quickened, a mixture of fear and exhilaration coursing through me. What do you mean? She stepped closer, her eyes gleaming with unsettling intensity. Close your eyes and let me guide you. My heart pounded in my chest as I complied, the world around me fading into darkness, And then I felt her touch, a cold, delicate hand against my own. She led me forward, each step a journey into the unknown. When she finally instructed me to open my eyes, I was met with a sight that chilled me to the bone. Before us laid a shallow grave, the freshly turned earth in an open wound in the moonlight. My breath caught in my throat, the weight of realization settling over me like a heavy fog. Death is an art, Emily whispered, her voice of reverence and longing, and I am its most devoted disciple. A cold dread coursed over my veins as I looked at her, truly seeing the darkness that had laid beneath her beauty. She had invited me into her world, a world of secrets and shadows, a world where fascination and fear collided. Without warning, Emily lunged forward, a piano wire closing around my throat with an iron grip. Panic surged through me, but my body felt paralyzed, as if caught in a nightmare from which there was no escape. Her eyes held a wild intensity, a hunger that seemed to feed on my terror. "You see?" she hissed, wire tightening. "Death is a symphony, a crescendo of fear and exhilaration, and you, my dear, are the perfect instrument." As darkness closed in around me, I realized the horror of my situation. The woman I had been drawn to, the woman whose beauty and an enigma had ensnared me, was a predator. A predator who reveled in the art of death. In the cold embrace of the night, I became a note in her symphony, a note that would forever echo in the shadows, a haunting reminder of the first date that led me into the clutches of a serial killer.